or anybody that you know have a problem with loved ones that hear you but don't listen? Well, now you can solve that with Asone's ANC and shut them out completely. Instead of dealing with your problems, you can turn them off, okay? Asone will bring you the best quality sound canceling that you'll ever have experienced on your head. And they also happen to be the best CS2 headphones on the market. Make sure to pick up a pair of Aspires today. And we've got restocked boxer clothing on the store. Store's going to go down December 1st. Everything will be shut down. Then we got a very special collection and announcement coming out December 22nd. So I know you love that Rommel video. Check it out. Today we're going to be watching ropz play CS2 again, because ropz is the best player in CS2. ropz continuously is the best player in CS2, and he's a rifler. Those are two beautiful things. ropz being the best player and a rifler being the best player. That's what you want to see. So we're here to learn more about CS2 and what the future holds for it. We're going to do that through ropz. I don't care how many times I got to upload ropz. You want ropz month? I'm down. All right? I'm down. So what's popular YouTube? And today another demo. Let's hop into this ropz demo to understand how ropz is getting so much value in CS2 as a rifler in this game, and why he will continue to soar stats-wise with the addition of smokes that can be blown open by HEs, and what that does for riflers in the current meta. Let's hop in. Okay, demo is crashing, the usual. I actually sent Valve an email and I laid out some things that I'd like to help make demos better. I kind of gave up hope on Valve for a second there when they stopped fixing movement stuff. And then they had this most recent update, which was actually pretty good. And so we're talking again. So, all right, let's see what the deal is. I'm playing this on a demo, on a beta version, so I think it works now. We're going to be watching ropz here, baby. Everybody's favorite Estonian, baby. ropz. Everybody wants to talk about ropz. Never, hey, Lau, how you doing? Always, where's ropz? You know, already done a ropz video. And this is why. He just gives us these moments right now. He is that guy. Isn't it nice to have the best player in CS2 be a rifler? I think we can all get behind that, you know, all jokes aside. So what's really cool and what's really good about ropz here in this demo, and what's awesome, and what I'm going to prove, is that ropz was born to play CS2, because ropz, the passive, methodical, slow-moving player, ropz, who also is a star player, dare I say it, superstar role player, is somebody who can benefit from the proactivity offered up by CS2 with these new smokes, okay? What we're going to be looking for today is all the usual ropz stuff, because ropz is still playing CSGO in a lot of ways. In fact, most people are, but there are a couple of maps where experimentation is happening. I've been watching some of Monacy's Pug demos. He's doing a lot of new stuff inside of the window, of course. There's lots of ways to disrespect mid-nades. Now, we see here it's a mid-pop because throwing your mid-window smoke insta does not protect you anymore because people can nade it. What I think this demo is going to offer us when we're looking at ropz is talking about how to find mid-timings on window in a map that you need to have window or mid control on T side, right? So even though you can counter that instant mid window smoke with an HE, you still have to take mid as a T. It used to be, I would say, mid eventually became 55-60% T-sided, where you have all of these different looks on how to take mid for T-side. It was very hard to stop it with normal peaks from connector, normal peaks from cat, and normal peaks from window. You have the mid-window smoke. You have underpass to really cause problems inside of connector. And here's one of the nades that's getting used. Boom. Works perfectly for ropz. Let's watch that back. Oh, hopefully it'll blow up and the demo doesn't mess us up. Okay. X-ray on the grenade trajectory. Sorry about that, but here you get the idea. This is actually a pretty common lineup that people are using right now. Look for those timings, okay? Now, when we're watching... Sorry. Now, this is another big one. We see that ropz decides to flutter into window, take a look down mid, have a gander, see what's going on, and WarOTK is there, right there looking into connector, okay? This is such a key thing about the way that ropz is playing right now that we have to stay focused on, and how a lot of people are playing window at the moment. Very, very active play, okay? So we're going to look at how they find these timings and why it is that slow playing and slow moving players like ropz, if they're going to play connector, play jungle, can get way more action than they used to. Now it's a little bit scarier for Ts to lurk into window if they could get naded and spotted. It's not so free to run up in the middle with a Fnatic window smoke out of spawn. Okay, does that make sense? So we got a mid-window spawn here. Sometimes you can jump out window with this spawn as well. This is also a big one. As you can see, over top of the smoke It's not perfect geometry, and there are tons of gaps. So ropz' eyes are drying out right now because he's ripe for the opportunity. And he throws his nade over to the side to make sure it's a full clear of the smoke. If it's too close, he's going to take damage. If it's anywhere too close to the left as well, it might look suspicious. So this is just to make it seem like the nade could come from anywhere, and it clears the entire smoke, obviously. And if you notice, he actually threw that smoke right at the end. And here, trying to smoke into the right part of the Molotov so that he can create this gap. And guess what ropz does? He creates this gap. So we've seen a couple rounds now where there's kills inside of middle as a CT player from window, which weren't possible before. There's a big reason why ropz is just getting so much more out of his game right now. Now, this is another small thing, okay? This is one of the most dangerous countries on Earth. This is one of the most dangerous parts of any map. Okay, this might be the most racist map in CSGO, but it's also one of the most dangerous parts of the most racist maps in CSGO, right? I mean, if you were to count how many racial slurs happen on CS2 maps, CSGO maps, it would just be Murad by default because most played and face it. But anyways, what am I trying to say here? Well, I'm not trying to say anything. I'm trying to draw it, okay? So look at ropz right now. Let me just start playing this so we can see a peek back here. Just take a look at that, all right? So now he comes to peek window. He's exposed to ladder room and window. Okay, now he's not, okay? So in this position right here, what's really important to point out is he's not exposed to palace, okay? If there's an op holding this line into palace, he's not exposed to palace. He's also not exposed to anybody who might be trying to look at him from jungle. So he's not exposed to that. And he's also right now not exposed from the window, okay? All three of these positions are what makes jungle so damn dangerous. And it's the reason that being a CT has gotten harder and harder over the years. Everything inside of middle control for the T's when they're busting out, trying to put pressure on it, take connector control through underpass, get alert going in palace. All of these things are put to put pressure largely, I mean, partly on your jungle player. This part of the map is so important. So usually you're getting players like Nico to play spots like this. ropz is such an amazing rifler. You want him to play here sometimes, but the job is becoming dangerous. This is like trying to catch king crabs, right? Very dangerous job. So be aware of the fact that right now he's not exposed to palace. He's not exposed to anything in connector. He's going to take every fight on his own terms. There's no one here. But even though there's nobody here inside of window, I want you to pay attention to where he's standing, right? Because here's a spot where he can watch what he wants to watch and still control every single peak. For that flash, for that moment, he passed by palace right there, and he could have been seen, but he's not worried about it because he knows it's a B rush. So just wanted to explain how, even though it looks like he's doing nothing, he's being aware of all these different fights and all these different ways they can put pressure on him, right? It's not a hard thing to do, but it is an important thing to do. If only everything in life was that. And you see the poofy smoke here that he throws outside of connector, and so that he can play in front of it and hold in the bottom of underpass. His teammate can spot mid-cross, as you can see twist up top. Every setup that FaZe use, even though they do things that are a little bit loose and aggressive sometimes, they are always making sure that their biggest gap is covered by somebody else. We'll see more setups with A ramp and triple player. Here we see one with twist and ropz in middle. Now, ropz is going to constantly be coming off the corner of smokes in CS2 to fight off of them. One thing that's really key in this game at the moment is if you are shooting the corners of the smokes off, or the perimeter of the smoke off, you blow away more smoke. If you shoot through the middle, I'm sure you guys have noticed, you aren't shooting much smoke away, and because of the perspective of where your gun's at, it's probably why right-hand 0 is not allowed to be used. But anyway, you can see why this is an important jump to be able to be consistent. Okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah, shooting off the corners of the smokes is very good because you blow away more smoke. You shoot through the middle and your gun's over on the right. You can't see actually where you shoot through. I thought that in the beta was going to be something like you're going to have your teammate sit beside you and look through the hole, look through the keyhole, and you were going to... By the way, the machine guns are going to come out in CS2. We know how strong they're going to be. People just don't want to look stupid right now by using them, but they're going to come out and they're going to have to be nerfed, okay? Mark my fucking words. Mark my words. They're going to come out in Pro CS2. Oh, this is such a big play, by the way. Let's go ahead and look at this, okay? Okay, so right here, ropz loses a fight on A ramp. Krasnal gets away, and this could mean that you're locked in if you're ropz. It's kind of scary if the palace player wants to try to work out, but for the most part, it's a big commitment for the palace player. Wait, hold on. Twist on the map in this situation is... watching palace right now. Okay, so ropz doesn't have to worry about that, but he does go into emergency protocols, drop that molly down on the ramp, try to reposition, and he tucks to get underneath the balcony. Okay, now this is a big move, number one. Number two, again, we're seeing that at the moment palace is being covered by twist over in the corner. We'll see on the mini map in a second. So for the time being, ropz can chill. If nobody's spotted, he can move up, which is what he's going to do, obviously. And this is a pretty risky reposition, but it allows you to take a less expected angle. A late clear out of palace as you have to execute is probably going to be uncommon. He knows Twist is behind him again, covering things. ropz tucks slightly, hoping to take that fight early. It's not ideal that Demka doesn't come out right away, but look what happens. That's a free frag. And now you get 2 fights. You get that, instead of staying under Balk and then losing your angle slowly, you take a first fight top Balk, second fight under Balk, and then you can start to fall back a little bit, which is quite nice. Here's going to be another example of an angle I can explain. It's not a new angle, okay? This one I've called Dennis. I'm not sure what people call it right now, but the place where ropz is sitting right now, he's got his laser focus, perfect perspective, M4, right over top of the corner here. You can see people's heads right here. Okay, so he's got that A-ramp walkout angle held while also completely blocked off with triple to anybody inside of connector. Knowing that Demka is inside of connector, top stairs becomes a threat. Okay, now let's see how ropz plays off this position. Spoiler, it's going to be beautiful. And you can see again, blocked off the connector, seems to be out in the open. If you hold up against the wall, actually very good versus Palace too. Holding in that headshot angle. It is going to be a game of timing. And that's perfect. He gets visual from SDY. And instead of fighting right away from Woro, knows Woro's inside a connector. Now he turns to his perfect piece of cover. Woro overcommits on the spray. ropz puts him down. Beautiful stuff out of ropz. Sectioning off those angles, light work. And again, it's being aware of who's trying to hunt you down as well as finding good angles for yourself, right? Same deal with how he fights inside of jungle. When you watch this game from other people's POV, it looks like ropz is always ready for that one player. But he oftentimes puts himself in a good spot for 2 or 3 fights at a time. And again, we've got the HE. We've got the HE on belt, okay? Air Max is on feet, HE on belt. And he's waiting for a chance for potential window to be smoked or find this timing inside of window to peek out. All right, now this is another big one, okay? If window is smoked, and this was like CSGO or something, window is smoked, it's impossible for you to counterplay as a window player to fight into middle. But the timing you're looking for is this one, okay? So you would see in Pro CS, in CSGO, sometimes it was the case that a window smoke was coming up, and on that timing, someone in connector from the CT side was trying to fight someone in mid. It was all staged. It was all set up, okay? Like Logan Paul, Dennis, Dylan Dennis, it was all fucking staged. It was a bunch of bullshit, okay, is what I'm trying to say. And the reason you do that is so that your mid player has a timing. The smoke comes up, your teammates are supposed to re-smoke it, but instead, you're offered up a chance for you to swing inside a window. We're seeing it from the left side, but normally it's from this side, okay? So there was always a way to trick the other team into fighting in the connector while you got a chance to peek out of window and kill someone who is inside of middle in what seems like a dangerous spot. Now in CS2, there are way more chances for you to manufacture those opportunities. That's what's really, really cool. And that's, in my opinion, why ropz is just having an insane time right now in this game. He's really ahead of the curve. He's able to play carefully, but also find just more timings that are really safe. And plus, he's still that guy. He's still that guy, man. He's still that guy, right? He's still just as good as he was in CSGO, but now he's like ropz plus. Subscribe to ropz plus. And we got a timing where the connector smoke's going to come up soon. There's no one here to help him fight to try to find a timing, which makes it scarier to look for a fight, but he knows that it's a half buy eco, so he can be a bit more liberal. If this was like a full rifle, might be a bit more tentative about if he's going to take a duel right away or not. Money and time are such important factors when it comes to making decisions in CS because it's an objective-based game. The time on the bomb, the time on the rounds, these are what decides what timings you have. When players look like geniuses for pulling off perfect flanks, all this comes down to how much time you have left. And the level of aggression that you bring, the risks that you take, is based on the money. How much money the other team has, how much money you have. Those things are extremely important to consider as well. We're seeing a ton of situations now where it's one flash because that nade is so valuable. And you can still use that nade to try to punish, like in the situation we saw earlier in the half. We saw earlier in the half that Monty decided to burst middle off spawns, right? Because they can counter people trying to set up really cool plays. Yeah, Rob's got a nice flank here. He just walked through. Okay, no big deal. Nothing CS2 related to talk about. But actually, let's see how Ropz deals with this now. He set up this flank. He's got the bomb. And now it's about delaying as long as possible and then maybe rerouting. So we see that there's a player behind him. He knows that they're either going to come through underpass or from the flank. And they're walking at the moment. Let's see if SDY just takes the fight or not. He does. And Ropz, he knows they were coming in from behind. So they actually approach him very well. And SDY could have died and lost the round, but that's pretty much the only way they could have fought that properly. And now this is sort of Rain's round to lose. You see he's actually so smart. He's walking over top of him. And SDY is thinking this is the only option that I have, but Rain is going to basically have a chance to kill him easily. Fluffs the first spray, but whatever, 10-0. And he doesn't have to worry about that. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. You can see that Ropz is nading top mid because Monty decided to burst mid earlier in the half. So HEs are still going to be used to try to punish spawn-based plays. But now they can be used both to punish spawn-based players, to punish late round, mid-round plays if you don't use them for smokes, but then also for smokes, to blow open smokes in the middle of rounds. Because there technically isn't a counter for it, besides doing it yourself to your own smokes or to your opponent's smokes. But it basically only encourages more violence, like maximum violence, basically, is what Valve said. Let's turn the violence up a little bit more, which I think is a fantastic change that's going to... Like, I already look at CSGO smokes, and they look archaic. Once they fix up the movement a little bit more, it's like some clip brush issues and stuff on the maps might already be better than CSGO. We'll see. There's a couple small things. And if we could free Bob... Every day is darker than the last when you're trying to free Bob. I know, you know, but we have to stand strong, right? For things that matter. You see that phase when they have any kind of a ramp setup like this, the other player is playing missiles, which is what's right behind Ropz right now, to be able to check on connector. This connector timing can allow your window guy to get killed. It can allow your A ramp guy to get killed. And right now, Ropz doesn't have to watch it as much like this if he doesn't want to, but they're 11-0 up. I mean, let's go for some peaks, baby. Why not? I didn't even know that this is 12-0, but that's the end of the half. I don't think they win the pick still, but let's just, why don't we? I honestly just needed to double check right there. Okay, so we've got a molly for under balcony, and then we also have a smoke that it seems like Ropz is going to save maybe for a re-smoke, or also just... Whoa. He actually smokes in front of... He smokes in front of jungle and leaves a gap for that they can actually run out through. I wonder why he did that. Maybe it's too much of an invitation, so it looks scary. A Greek gift, if you will. And Ropz, well, he does half the damage to 2 remaining players, but they still live. We're out B right now. There is, in fact, a chance. Oh, they want to fight that so bad. Ropz could die to this HE. Ooh, 22. You got to kill him, though. So setups like this I love. You know, it looks like redundant a bit, and Kerrigan goes wide. Ooh, NT. But it gives you the chance to, you know, really deny trades if 2 people swing at the same time. All right, it looks like this might be it. I've zoomed through a few rounds. Don't plan on talking about T-side for the moment here for Ropz. A lot of the cool stuff in CS2 right now for me is on CT, but there will be actions and reactions, of course. Well, Ropz 1v2 to end it up, imagine. Oh, let's see if he reads this correctly. Oh, no, that's just nice. Nice play from Krasnal. I'm a big Krasnal fan. I always get that guy on Fantasy. I think he's very underrated. Oh, Waterfall Halls, the Fallen Strat. Okay, into the Woro op, but whoa. Ropz takes out Woro. Twist gets another kill, and it is getting ugly. It is getting ugly if you're Monty. Uh-oh. Kraz now. Ooh. Okay. Another 1v1 denied. And another 1v2 attempt denied. Oh my god, this game is way closer than I thought it was going to be. What the hell? This is a 12-0 half that we just watched. Okay, surely. Oh, that could be bro's head. No! Okay, of course it ends in tragedy. 2 Tech 9s and then a Deagle kill. And then that's it. The easiest post plan of all time. All right, FaZe wins the round. They win the match. And you would have never known that this was a 12-0 game. It turned into a 13-9 finish for FaZe. But FaZe won. And FaZe won, and FaZe have done nothing but win. They are on 2 LAN wins. They won Thunderpick, which is their first online victory ever, actually. And ropz has been the best player in CS2. So that's going to be that. A lot of cool stuff about how ropz can get more active right now in CS2, playing on CT sides. And I think that there's going to be there's actually opportunities for riflers to be #1 player of the year. I think there's going to be an ongoing storyline that we're probably going to repeat until it's dead on the desks and in the casts at the live events. But I think that that's an awesome thing, and I'm looking forward to that. It was actually not that great to have ops just be so dominant, at least the strongest ops just be able to take over so much, but we'll see how it plays out. Excited to see the comeuppance of riflers. If you're a rifler right now, your stock's all-time high, baby, in CS2. And ropz, well, he's your GOAT. Thanks for watching, and next one's gonna be Modesty.